Hey guys, I didn't get a chance to finish the second half of my video, which I talked about the changes that I had experienced in the last month and a half. Um, this other half of the video, I wanted to talk about the things that I've been doing and what I've been experiencing and why it is that I've been so stressed out lately. Um, so the month of February has really been a rough month for me. There's been a lot of good things, but there's been some major disappointments for me. Things that are just really, really personal. The first thing that was really just disheartening was the email that I received from my college ministry pastor um, regarding a trip that the college ministry is going to be taking here in the next few days that I really wanted to go to because I've been really feeling it that in my heart I've needed to get away and to take some time to just be with God and myself and with other people that are um, there for the same purpose, and to just go up to the mountains and clear my head. And it was just something that I was really looking forward to. And in regards to that, I thought it would be a good idea to email the person that was actually more of like a friend of mine who's coordinating the trip, some questions um, that had to deal with the fact that I am transitioning, that I'm kind of like neither here nor there, that what would be a good way to accommodate you know me, and what the rooming situation would be like, and what the social situations would be like, and what I could do to help in order to make this you know a possibility for me to attend. So the email, as polite and as respectful as he tried to be, um, in the beginning I was really kind of sad by it, but at the same time embarrassed because I didn't know if anybody else in the staff knew about me inquiring about the trip. And since I go to that church and I do know quite a bit of the staff, I felt really awkward. Um, but when I talked about it with my therapist a few weeks later and I brought it up, she said, really what it came down to was the fact that he just didn't want to deal with it. He kind of just swept it under the rug. And, I think she might be right, unfortunately. But I can share with you guys a little bit. He says that, he's had family and friends who've gone through similar journeys, and that as a pastor, it's a goal for the community uh, to place you where you are always protected, supported, and understood. And he said, that being said, I don't believe it is the right timing for you to attend this retreat. Here are my reasons. So he goes on and he lists some reasons. One of the reasons was, it's not because you're transgender, but because you're in the transition process. I don't think it's wise for you to come. The extra explanations, accommodations, and effort it would take for you to come and feel at home isn't something we have the capacity for on a trip like this. The other point he made was the potential for distraction. He says the point of the retreat is for people to step away from their normal pace and responsibilities to connect with God in a different way. Because we want to explain and clarify you and your journey to ensure a great experience for you, the potential for conflict and confusion for other people is a good possibility. I really want you to come, but simply can't agree to it because of the potential for misunderstandings and disagreements to break out that could be hurtful to you and distracting for others. So he says, once again, I really want you to come, but I am confident it's not a wise choice at this point. So that was really hard for me to hear. I tried my best not to take it personally. I tried not to take it as a kind of transphobic thing. And when it comes down to it, I understand where he's coming from. It's really difficult to handle situations like this. It's also a very delicate subject. And I also do have some understanding of the fact that this is the first time they're taking a trip at this time of the month and to the place where they're going. So maybe he doesn't know all the answers and have control of the entire situation. But at the same time, I am disappointed that he didn't take the extra effort to, reach out. Or maybe he did and he just didn't tell me, and connecting to other people and figuring out, well, maybe this is a possibility. Um, so, I don't know. That was one major disappointment for me. I still go to that church, from time to time. I have friends there, and you know, the only thing I could really say to you guys, about advice when it comes to, spirituality and religion and churches and communities, based on those foundations, is that there's always going to be a very big mixture of people in one place, and they are going to have different personalities and they're going to have different viewpoints, even if you all have kind of the same general faith and beliefs. There's always going to be those people that are, you know, more on one side than the other, or more open, or less open, or have different branched out beliefs. I mean, it can go either way, and you can't just shut out that part of your life, especially if it's important for you, because of these different people that might not agree with you, or agree with your transition, or agree with your sexuality, or whatever it is, because there are good people that are within these places that will support you. Not to say that the other people aren't good, it's just that their beliefs are different, and so that can create a block. And if it's important to you, you should continue to reach out and build your faith in whatever it is that you believe in, and to keep your faith alive, because it's so important to have hope, and so important to have a good base for I think your soul, and to keep open for love, to give and to accept love, and you're gonna find friction along the way, but that's just part of it. So that's how I take it. Now that I've went on my tangent about that, the second disappointment that I had was the fact that I had come out to my aunt, and she's the only person that I've come out to, and I'm starting to get to a point now where I think that I know that she loves me and she cares about me, but her beliefs are very different from mine when it comes to what's right and what's wrong, and what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and because of that, I would say that's kind of created a little bit of a roadblock, because I really want her to be there when I came out to my dad, to have a better support system. But I'm starting to think that maybe that's not a good idea, because she is not really as supportive as I thought she was, or rather, she doesn't really believe in it. She thinks it's wrong, as far as me transitioning, and she doesn't want me to do it. And so, yeah, I don't think that's a good thing. So, well, I was hoping to have at least one person to really be like, yeah, you know what, I love you, it's okay, it doesn't matter, I'll support you even if you do this, I think this is right for you. It's not what I expected. So that was the second disappointment. The third thing that really just put the cherry on top of everything was that my biological mom, she passed away. It's been about 3 weeks now, and we just had the funeral the week before. And that was really hard, because it created a lot of family drama. Some fights broke out, and it sucked. I wasn't even there, and still at some point in time I managed to get in the middle of it, even when I wasn't even around for it. A lot of side choosing, and a lot of things that really weren't important, petty things, but I feel like people's emotions were very high, and so when everything was said and done, I think things tamed down a little bit. But it did suck, and the fact that my mom did pass, and that You know, I didn't really know her very well, and that, you know, there's a lot of some things that I'll never really know about her. And you know that it really tore apart my grandmother, who I love so much, and it really just broke my heart to see her cry, especially when we had to put the flowers up on the casket, when everybody was kind of doing their walk by and they were going to lower the casket into the ground, and they had to pick my grandmother up. Like, she didn't want to walk, and she just kept saying no, 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 because she didn't, you know, want to say goodbye. And when they were lowering the casket into the ground, you know, my grandma was right there just crying and just saying, don't do that, you know, don't do that, like, don't bury her. So, I mean, it's been really hard. Like I said, there's been some major disappointments for me, and as for, like, you know, that's life, you know, there's ups and downs, and you gotta take it. You gotta go with it, and remember to find your allies and find people that are gonna support you and help you. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I know there's more rough times ahead. I think that it's gonna get a little more intense, because I do believe I'll be coming out very soon. And then from there, who knows, really. And there's a lot of changes. So, on a happier note, though, I actually got heed today. I got called he a couple of times while I was at work by two people that I didn't know. The first time was with a woman who I was helping try wigs on, and she was just so happy, and she loved the last wig that I picked out for her, and she was just like, she just said, referring to me to he, to my coworker and my boss. And then at the very end, when she was gonna leave, she was telling my coworker, she's like, oh, he's making me fall in love with him, and he's so sweet, and, you know, see you later, Sean. And I was just like, I got so red and really like just tense, because all I could think about was like, oh my god, like, I don't want her to find out, you know, that I wasn't born male, or that, like, maybe she's gonna see the female side of me. Like, the way that I explained it to my girlfriend was like, I felt like Harry Potter with, like, an invisible cloak on, and I was afraid that it was gonna fall off, or, like, you know, a body part was hanging out of it, and, like, they'll be able to see me, like, see through my disguise, you know, even though like, it's not really a disguise for me, but because I'm in between, I just feel like, you know, I got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, so, like, it really just, it made me happy, but at the same time, I got really nervous, and I couldn't look her in the eyes. I just felt like I just felt awkward. And then a little later that day, I had a couple come in, and I was helping the woman, and then the husband, I believe, he referred to me as he, and then she, about 5 minutes later, referred to me as she. So, I don't know, like, again, I got really red and kind of nervous, and, I don't know, like, being outed, it's the strangest sensation, which I think I'd be used to, you know, especially with the whole, like, coming out as gay thing the first time, and I don't know, but, it's actually really just, like, a whole nother breed. So, that was good. I mean, it was enjoyable, and it was fun, and, yeah. Alright, guys, I'll talk to you guys later, alright? Take care. Bye.